Okay, welcome to episode 2 of my series of things I keep in my kitchen no matter what. The last video was my spices and my cooking and baking cabinet. This one is going to be pantry staples, essentials, so that you can make meals even if you're doing a pantry challenge, as long as you have these things on hand and keep these things on stock. So if I use one, I will purchase another one. If there's a good sale, I will buy more than one. Okay? So first we're gonna start with let's do things that we don't necessarily use for cooking first. So if you watched my last video, I shared with you that to make bread, all you really need is water. I shared the ingredients that you need to keep in your cabinet, which is yeast, flour, baking soda. Did I say yeast? Yeast, flour, baking soda, sugar, salt, and then water. That's all you need to make bread. I have a video on it. I'll try to link it below. So, to go along with making bread at home and keeping those ingredients at home, I also keep peanut butter and honey in my pantry at all times. My husband also likes to eat it in his cereal. Sometimes we put it in oatmeal. Sometimes we just eat a spoonful of it. It makes a good snack. I also use this to make cookies. I use this to make homemade granola bars or protein balls and things like that. The same goes with the honey. I don't use the honey a lot for baking. We do use it in hot teas when we're feeling under the weather. I mix it with peanut butter on toast and things like that. Okay, so now we're gonna go with these aren't really ingredients per se, but they do help the cooking process. I always keep oil, obviously, and apple cider vinegar. Oil for frying, sauteing, baking. You can use oil 100 different ways. Okay, apple cider vinegar. The only reason I use apple cider vinegar, the only purpose it holds in my house is for a meat tenderizer. If you put it in your crock pot with chicken or pork, if you wrap your meat in foil and put it in the oven, if you wrap your meat in foil and put it on the grill and pour just a little bit of this in the crock pot or in the foil, when you're wrapping your meat will turn out super tender. That is what I use my apple cider vinegar for. Okay. Next, we're going to do the dry goods. So I like to at least have 2 types of rice on hand. This time it happens to be long grain white rice and brown rice. Sometimes I will get basmati, sometimes I will get jasmine, but other than that, it's white and brown. Okay, beans. I keep pinto beans at all times on hand. They go a long way. They've got a lot of protein, and you can make a pretty good dish with pinto beans. As far as... Sorry, I had to take a pause. We're going to move on to pastas. I like to keep at least 2 different kinds of pasta. My husband wanted to switch it up and do linguine. I haven't done this in a while. And I always like to keep a box of fun-shaped pasta, whether it's rotini, rigatoni, penne, bow tie. It doesn't matter. I always like to keep pasta. I don't know if these 2 would be considered dry ingredients, or dry goods, but I always keep mac and cheese in my house, whether it's Kraft, Velveeta, Great Value. I have Baby Shark mac and cheese. I always keep mac and cheese. And I always keep Jiffy Cornbread mix on hand, because if I ever have to use my pinto beans, I will most likely make a sort of soup out of them with some kind of meat and some rotel and some water and some spices and things like that. Cornbread always goes good on the side of that. Okay. Let's move on to like the vegetable-y things I keep in my fridge. Or in my fridge. We're doing pantry, not fridge. I always keep onions, sometimes yellow, sometimes white. This time is white. They are good to add to flavors of pasta. Saute them up, put them in your pasta sauce, in your ground beef. Cook them with your ground beef with a little bit of minced garlic. Put them in your meatloaf, your meatballs. I mean, you can do a lot of things with onions. I always keep potatoes on hand because they are very filling and they will go a long way. And so I always keep them on hand. I do mashed. I do creamed. I don't do mashed. I have to be technical here. I do creamed. I don't do mashed. I do, because I don't like chunks in my mashed potatoes. I do fried potatoes, roasted potatoes, homemade French fries, homemade hash browns. I mean, you can do a lot with potatoes. Okay, as far as other vegetable-y things go, I always keep 3 different canned vegetables on hand. This is cream style. Normally we do whole kernel, but this is cream style. I think I also do have whole kernel. Can I English? That'd be great. I also do keep whole kernel corn in there, and I'm pretty sure there is some in there. But I just happen to grab the corn, the cream style out of the cabinet. But corn, French style green beans, they're the only kind of green beans I like, and this is my favorite vegetable. And we also keep sweet peas. It is my husband's favorite, and if you guys have been watching for any length of time, any of my cooking videos, you know that we have peas with just about every dinner. Okay? Now, these next 2 items go hand in hand. I keep diced tomatoes. This just happens to be the zesty chili style. I think I do have some other ones up there, but this is just the one I grabbed as an example. I keep diced tomatoes. You can get crushed tomatoes. Really anything. And then also tomato sauce. With those 2 ingredients, and also tomato paste, which I'm out of. I need to get some more. You can make a homemade pasta sauce. Will it be the best pasta sauce you've ever had? Maybe not. But it will get you by. And you don't have to get these name brand ones. I got these on sale. I think I paid 50 cents for this Hunt's can of tomato sauce, and I think I paid 70 cents for this Del Monte tomato. Oh crap, I forgot to add this in there. This should have went in with the oil and the apple cider vinegar. Broth. I keep up usually I keep chicken and beef, but I used my last chicken. I need to get some more. This is good to cook your rice in because it will add tons of flavor. It's good to cook your beans in. You know, it's just good to have on hand. It's good to start soups with, and things like that. Sorry, I had to take another pause, and then my daughter almost knocked over my tripod. Anyways, that beef broth can be used for a lot of different things. You can cook, my brain doesn't want to work. You can put it in your crock pot and cook slabs of beef in. I've even used beef broth to cook pork in the crock pot. You can use it to thin out a sauce. You can use it to put in a marinade for meats, things like that. Chicken broth is always, not chicken broth, any type of broth. I mainly use chicken though. Is good to keep on hand. Now, sauces. I keep 2 different sauces on hand. You can keep as many or as little as you want, but I do recommend keeping some jarred pasta sauce on hand. I keep a red sauce. It doesn't really matter to me what kind. This one is the Prego roasted garlic and herb. So I keep that. I have that one this time on hand, and then I always keep this Bertolli. It's my favorite Alfredo sauce on hand. I have used the Ragu one, and I believe the Great Value one. The Ragu one's okay, the Great Value one's okay, this is just my favorite. So I do have this. With all of these things, and actually, for your pasta, you don't even really need a pasta sauce. You can melt some butter, throw some minced garlic in there, cook it for about a minute, minute and a half until the garlic becomes fragrant. Boil your pasta, strain it, put the garlic and butter on it, toss it around, and eat it that way. But with these, I feel like, with these pantry staples, as long as I have meat in my freezer, and I have the spices from my last video on hand, I can make my family a fairly decently healthy meal with these things in my pantry. And a fairly filling meal from things in my pantry. Like, just looking at this, I could think of 1, 2, 3, probably 4 meals just right now that I could make off the top of my head just with these ingredients alone that I just showed you in this video. So, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Stay tuned for the next one. The next one's going to be condiments and things I keep in my refrigerator at all times. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.